Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Yesterday a lot happened in the Senate, both the green and the red chamber, that dampened the spirit of most Nigerians out there. Some persons literally opened up and said Nigeria is gone. All hope is not lost. But most people did not understand what transpired. And the fact that as we speak, NBA and some very prominent Nigerians are beginning to call for the recall process of most, if not all, of the senators and politicians in the legislative chamber who rallied round in support of the emergency rule and suspension of elected governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubara. I'm going to give you full details on all of that. But let's start with some of the top lawmakers, especially in the red chamber, that staged the walkout, and they gave their reasons why they did what they did. Of course, I'm going to also allow you to watch the drama that ensued between the former governor of Bayelsa State, talking about Dickson, the Senator Honorable Dickson, of course, the likes of Abaribe, the likes of Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, all stormed in protest. It's not as if they all had their way. A lot of drama ensued there. Watch the video moment, but let's find out the fireworks that took place that most media houses didn't capture. Now, according to the news, the Senate on Wednesday endorsed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's state of emergency proclamation in Rivers State, but not without fireworks, as Senator Seriake, Dickson, Abaribe, and Aminu Waziri Tambuwal stormed out in protest. Now, the closed-door session saw Dickson and his allies strongly opposing the emergence of declaration. That's the emergency declaration, and particularly the suspension of an elected governor or elected officials as a whole, which they argued was unconstitutional. And despite their objections, the Senate overwhelmingly backed the president's move, shutting down an open debate on the matter. They didn't even allow an open debate. They just said, I, nay, and I have it. Now, displeasure over the outcome, Dickson, Tambuwal, and Abaribe exited the plenary before the Senate president could formally announce the decision. Speaking afterward, Dickson thanked his colleagues who supported his stance and acknowledged that the presidency had made some modifications to the original declaration. He noted that while oversight mechanisms had been introduced, they did not erase the core constitutional concerns. I appreciate the efforts to adjust the terms, but it doesn't change the fact that this proclamation lacks constitutional backing, Dickson stated. He also criticized the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, accusing him of trying to silence his opposition. The Senate is a meeting of equals, and no lawmaker should be censored for speaking on national issues only, he fired. Let's see the video. Let's see the moment.
Doesn't stop the motion.
The Senator Seriake Dickson.
Yes.
I watch you on television.
Mr. President, I have a point of order for which you have recognized me.
Listen to me now.
Yes.
Let's not argue. If we argue, it won't be good for any of us. We are all distinguished people. You are a former governor, I'm a former governor. Let us, please, all of the mics, sit down. Please be seated. I watch you on television. And you said, no matter what the Senate does, the Senate will never go with you. The Senate will not go with you. Well, I said, you said no matter what the Senate does, the Senate will not have your vote on anything the Senate does. That's what you said on television. I don't know, but I'm saying that if you have already made up your mind to go and talk on television when the Senate has not even considered any issue, I want to let you know.
To me, please.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm only saying, please allow me to preside. Allow me to preside.
Make my point for which.
Stand up and make a point.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please, we must have mutual respect for all of our colleagues, okay? And I do have regard for you, particularly as our presiding officer.
I appreciate
and I think that should be reciprocal. Now, the point of order, Mr. President, Henry Seriake Dickson, Bayelsa West. The point of order I rose to address is to draw the attention of the presiding officer and our colleagues to the specific provisions of our rules. Each one of us is guided by two documents: the Constitution of the Federal Republic, upon which we were sworn, and the rules that govern our proceedings. The proclamation has been read to us, and I wanted to draw your attention, Mr. President, respectfully, and the attention of all our colleagues, to the specific provisions of our rules. Order 135 The framers of this are very exhaustive. Once you say state of emergency declaration, there is a procedure.
Can you read 135?
Let me read it. Say, look, 133. When the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by instrument published in the Gazette of the Government of the Federation, issues a proclamation of a state of emergency in the Federation or of any part thereof, he shall immediately after the publication, A, B, C, D. Now, since you have read it, now let me go to 135. The President shall, in a closed session, brief the Senate on the circumstances of the proclamation of a state of emergency.
Your point of order is upheld.
Thank you. So let's go to the closed session.
Please, he was about to move the motion for a closed session.
Thank you, sir.
In line with our rules. The rule is embedded in the heart of the Senate leader. He was about to move that motion for us to go to closed session.
Yes.
When you raise it, but I'm happy that you are reading your rules. So your point of order is happily upheld. Yes, Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished.
My colleague is in the house. You've heard what happened. You know, during the plenary, it looked as if all the senators were all in conformity with what the presidency said. But it's good to know that there are still some very contrary senators in both chambers, particularly the red chamber. What's your take?
Well, personally, according to the provision of the Constitution, 72, at least 72, that's I think 2/3 of the senators are expected to vote. And if you look at the composition of the Senate, you notice that in the Senate House, APC is about 58, PDP is about 37, Labour Party is about 7, SDP is about 2, NMPP is about 2, MPGA, that's ABGA is 1, ADP 1, and then we have one vacant seat, which is the suspended Natasha, you know. And then in House of Rep, we have APC is like 175, PDP is about 118, Labour Party 35, ABGA 5, ADC 2, SDP 2, YPP 1, and then we have like 3 vacant seats there, and it is expected that 2/3 of all of them will have to vote. 2/3 of the Senate is about 72, and then 2/3 of these guys is I think about 100 and something or so, and APC is 58. Now the big question is, why would you carry out a vote by saying the I should say I, yes, and the yes should say
how are we even so sure that even the microphone was not silent?
Do you understand? This is absolutely wrong.
In this age,
I would say that unfortunately, I don't know. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not making any progress. For us to be able to get the voice of the opposition intact, there should be an electronic vote. Electronic voting card mechanism whereby it is clearly displayed. It will be like a big clock there. It will be clearly displayed so that when it's time, no, they just say yea, and yes and nay will be there. Yes and nay will be there. So let's do the voting. The ayes. And then the eyes will vote. It will be displayed there, even not.
Okay, to even make it more clearer and more transparent, when they say the yes, the seat numbers and what the seat number says and the total figure will display.
If you do that, it's going to be a little bit cumbersome because for you to show all of that, if they said the yes should say yes, as you press, the thing will show there. 76 have said yes. You press nay. They will now put, when you sum up this thing, you will see, they now say, oh, maybe 3 did not respond to it or something. It makes a great deal of sense, you understand? Okay. But unfortunately, sometimes I begin to wonder if Nigeria was the founder of football, they wouldn't even show us scoreline. And some games will be played and the people will not be allowed to vote. The referee will just come and say, it was 7-2.
Simple, they will not even play. And
the players will say, where was it 7-2 now? It's 7-2. If you don't like it, go to court. You understand? If you don't like it, go to, and that's exactly what they are doing there. That's why I'm looking at Nigeria. I think that I don't even know how we can fix this country, because unfortunately, all the key, one of the things that these guys do is during the period of elections, what they do is they fight so much to take up positions, because they know that one of the things that disarm Nigerians is the law. The fact that this person is being elected constitutionally. Whatever he says, everybody's hand is weak. So they take over the legislature, they take over the executive, they take over the judiciary. So we're just watching. Now look at what just happened out there. Some people stage a walkout, and what did they do? They increase the volume of their mouth. All the come on.
They say it's unanimous. It's overwhelmingly. That's what the words of.
You understand? And when you look at that and you see, are these the people? One of the things, I've been saying this over and over again. What goes around comes around. You may not know when it will be your turn. So when it is your brother's turn, when you perceive that some level of illegality is going on, you people should rampage. You people should scream. As far as I'm concerned, in that Senate, Akpabio is at the same level with Natasha, irrespective of the fact that he's just been elected to be the Senate, to be the officiating, but it's not better in terms of positioning. All of them are senators representing different constituencies. You understand? So when the issue of Natasha came up, everybody did as if they are big men. Concern me. It go come reach your turn. You understand? You go can't reach your turn. Now, some of the senators in Labour Party, I hate that some of them, I don't want to mention them because it was another reporter that carried that one, talked about some personality, Victor Ome, and that they were the ones sharing money, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how true it is because it's coming from another reporter. But if they are doing that, very soon, the sledgehammer will be hanging on their head one day. They will scream and Nigerians will be quiet looking at them. Why? Because when it was another person's turn, we the opposition should stand up and prove themselves. They did not prove themselves. Fubara is gone. Guess what? As Fubara don't go, nobody say they've not finally put a lock and say no form of illegality will happen again. It's just a page. They are flip open. Another person will come. And that time, to that person will say, if I had no, blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, some of these things will be happening. They won't even be responding. Nobody will come out to talk publicly for us to know.
But people are talking. Just that these guys are not used to responding to talks. They prefer practical action.
I mean, the future of Nigeria, gradually, I did say that thing. If we are making, that's why I said, nobody should have the mouth to say a word on people like Babangida. He came and wrote a book and presented people where he should apologize. He shouldn't apologize to any one person. Because what we are seeing today by the people who were fighting him is even worse. Bola Tinubu was not part of those who were fighting. They're fighting. Today, what we are seeing today in this country, is it not even worse than that? Is it not worse than that? Then he will come and apologize. Apologize for what?
Oh, well, two wrongs don't make a right. Much as my colleague is actually very agitated right now.
Why I'm
I
saying
still believe.